This pepper is done for the season, so it's going into the compost. Gross. I'm finally getting some decent sized cayenne chili peppers. Yay! And this is very sad. It hurts so much. Hello and welcome. I'm so happy that you're here with me, fall cleaning up the garden. It's long overdue, so let's go. So I'm going to start in this bed right here. We have some zinnias, some old dill, and we have a few baby fennels. And over here we have my leek that I think I need to harvest today. So I'm going to remove all the weeds. I'm going to cut down this and give room to the fennels. I'm cutting it down and not removing the roots because I can see some flower buds coming here. And dill is cold hardy, so I can harvest dill for at least 1 more month. And by cutting them like this, it promotes new growth. There's a lot of weed in this bed because this is the first time I'm actually weeding in this bed. Because I have this fabric cloth underneath. I haven't really been needing to weed barely at all this season. I don't know if it's because it's been raining a lot or I just had some luck. So I'm actually not really sure when to harvest the leeks. I have harvested 2 leeks. I mean, they're looking quite good still, but they're a bit loose and wobbly, some of them. So, and also some of them have brown leaves, so I don't know if that's a sign. But they're pretty small, all of them. Yeah, I might wait a little bit longer. So in this bed here we have, these are dill. I'm going to cut them back. I don't want to leave the soil uncovered because then all the weeds are gonna grow. But once everything, like the zucchini, the bell peppers, cucumbers and everything in this section is done for the season, I am going to plant garlic in here. So now the bell peppers, you can see them somewhere in here, they are getting a lot more sun. And I'm going to harvest some chives here, but I'm going to leave all the harvesting to last. So right now I need to tackle all the cucumbers that's gotten powdery mildew. I'm just removing all the leaves that are the worst. And I think the powdery mildew actually comes from the zucchini. This cucumber was worst of them all, so I removed quite a lot from this. I kept only one branch that you can see have 2 cucumbers growing on it, so I'm gonna leave it until they are grown and harvested. We have a swarm of green lace flies at the moment, and they are actually helpers in the garden. They are eating the insects and the bugs that you don't want, or the larvae is eating them. So they are quite disgusting but beneficial. So here I am starting to cut off all the zucchini leaves. As I mentioned, the powdery mildew comes from the zucchini, I think. It's a lot of powdery mildew, and it's not really weird at all because it has been such a rainy summer and it's the end of the season, so it's quite moist in the air. So I'm cutting back a lot. I'm even removing some of the zucchini vines. I really want the plant to focus on the zucchini that is already produced, and I want them to grow bigger. But I do end up harvesting some mini zucchinis from the branches or the vines that I cut off. This pepper is done for the season, so it's going into the compost. First round of harvests, some chives and mini zucchinis that were about to go bad. So I'm gonna bring this inside and charge the camera, drink a little bit of water, and I'll see you back soon. The bell pepper that I ripped out was a purchased seedling that I got from the store in May or something. It was also the first one that I planted out. These 3 are a red bell pepper that I actually started from seed myself. But I had to plant them out quite late, and once I got to it, they got aphids, and it was just a mess. And once they started to flowering, I thought that it's probably too late, but I'm gonna see how it goes. This was about late July, and since then it's been raining and it's been really cold, so it's not until now that they've actually got this size, but they are still green. So I don't really like green bell peppers, so I think I'm gonna wait a little bit longer to see if they turn red. Otherwise I'm gonna harvest them green. But these has had such a bad luck, honestly. First aphids, and now there's some sort of stink bugs on them. You can see me removing it with the scissor and push it into the ground and then just bury it. I don't know if it's gonna survive, I don't hope so. Anyways, I am removing all the dead leaves and any bugs that I can see. So in between the zinnias are my aubergines or eggplants, and you can see that they are flowering but they don't look very good, and they haven't been flowering all summer long. So something is wrong, something is eating it, or there's some damage on them. So I might just cut them down. I think it's too late in the season, and I will just try again next year. I might keep one just to see how it goes. And I had to charge my camera again, so I just didn't want to take a break this time, so I went ahead and cleared out the aubergines, and you can see them just right by my butt. I removed quite a few leaves and I saved the ones that had flowers on them that I will show you later on. But I am really counting my fails in this video because my chili peppers, they were super prolific and they grew almost too well. A lot of branches had been snapping off because it's just too heavy, and I didn't really purchase any support for the chilies. I have been tying them to the tomato stems that are quite sturdy because they are up on the vine that you can see. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm tying it back up. One of the branches snapped off as usual, but I have been taking them inside and putting them in water, and they are still ripening. I'm finally getting some decent sized cayenne chili peppers. Yay! As you can see, my tomatoes aren't doing very well. They have been suffering quite a while now. It's been like this since we had a lot of rain. It's some sort of mold or fungus, I'm not sure. The cherry tomatoes are fine so far, but all of my slicing tomatoes, they're just rotting before I can harvest them. So this branch has snapped, so I'm gonna save these green tomatoes here. Hopefully they will ripen on the vine. If they don't, I'm gonna do some green tomato jam or something. So this is what they start to look like once they ripen. It's gross. But I got a few tomatoes here that actually looks fine. They are super unripe, but I think they will be fine. So this tomato plant here is ready to get ripped out. So now I can use this twine here to help my chilies stand up straight. So I'm leaving the stump and the roots of the tomato in the ground because this is material matter and it will compost and it will benefit the soil until next spring. But it's a mixed feeling. It's quite sad to remove a whole tomato like that, but at the same time I feel like new beginnings are about to arrive. This one right here actually snapped off quite early in the season, so I've just been harvesting the tomatoes that's been growing below the snapping point. So I'm actually going to remove it now and retire this plant. So I'll just harvest the tomatoes that look fine. This also is infected by the same mold or fungus disease, but most of them are fine. It's actually so nice to be able to be out here without all the mosquitoes. It's such a relief. I haven't been able to care for the garden as much as I would have liked the last couple of months, really. Gross. This one right here is probably my healthiest tomato plant still. It's producing tons of tomatoes. I don't know if you can see this, but it's just so many tomatoes. So I'm going to harvest the ones that I can harvest right now and give energy and space for this plant to focus on the new growth. Throwing away all of the bad tomatoes and the branches and the leaves that are infected. But you can see here the dark spot. It's not good. You can see here just how healthy it is. That is producing shoots like this with flowers on them. Unfortunately, I have to cut them off because they are sucking all the energy from the plant, so I won't get any other ripe tomatoes. I'm just gonna cut off all the little flowers that are producing so it can focus on the existing tomatoes. Honestly, I think I'm gonna cut the top of this tomato because it's just producing so many tomatoes down here. I wanted to focus solely on this part. And this is very sad. It hurts so much. So this is very sad too. It even had some tomatoes on there, but it was going to snap off. This one is also super tall, but it's actually kind of found its way over this trellis, so I'm gonna leave it there. I don't think it's gonna fall down. What is going on here? The mosquitoes are starting to get really annoying, so I'm gonna do this quickly. I am just trying to contain this disease as much as possible so it doesn't spread and I can get my very last tomatoes for the season. These here are my snapdragons that I started from seed in the early summer, and they have been very prolific and produced so many beautiful flowers, but they are really taking over and I can't even harvest my parsley, and it's mostly leaves and foliage at this point, not many flowers, so I'm just cutting it down as much as I possibly can. Here is the aftermath. It looks so clean. And this is the pile. Almost all of it. I just put it on a cardboard box. I'm gonna drag it down to the compost. Hopefully everything will thrive. You might not have seen what I did with the eggplants. I saved the ones that had flowers on them. So there's a flower here, and there, and there's 2 or 3 even on this one. And I cleared out the snapdragon so I can reach my parsley easier, and the carrots are growing well here. This is how I keep the branches that snapped off from the chili plant. I put them in a vase of water and they eventually ripen, and then I just dry them on a paper like this on the windowsill. And here are a bunch of tomatoes and some chilies, mostly cherry tomatoes, and in this net bag here I have the slicing tomatoes. And then here are all my cucumbers and zucchinis that I showed you earlier, and the chives I already chopped up and put in the freezer. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye!